Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Visit squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for more details. Okay, I'm at the bus station. You can kind of see Fuji behind me there. I'm heading now to Kyoto, actually taking the bus back to Tokyo, then the bullet train to Kyoto, and I think I'm going to try my hand at some street photography there. It's supposed to be rainy for a couple days, so we'll see how this goes. Street photography in Kyoto coming up. Travel in Japan is such a treat. Things usually run on time, things usually run smoothly. There's a fairly easy way to get basically anywhere. Well, except from Fuji to Kyoto. The fastest option, it seems, is to catch the bus back to Tokyo in Shinagawa Station, then catch the bullet train from there. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm not complaining. Anytime I get the Hoppa Shinkansen, I'm happy. I mean, you get to eat bento boxes while traveling 300 kilometers per hour. You can't beat that. On the Shinkansen, and I have my lunch. Let's see what this is. My reason for picking this bento box was easy. It was the most colorful. I used Google Translate to figure out what's in it later. Plum salad, rice, bamboo shoots, mackerel, pickled cherry blossoms, and more. Okay, made it to Kyoto. The AC just scared me. Made it to Kyoto, and I'm so excited to be back here. It's one of my favorite cities in the world, and it's one of the best places in the world for street photography. I have no view. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm not good at street photography. It's just not, it's not my forte, but I love photography in general, and as a travel photographer you need to kind of do all types of photography. You can't just do landscapes or buildings or whatever. You have to force yourself to try to do a little bit of everything. So yeah, got here, it's already almost sunset. In fact, it's already sunset currently, so I think I'm gonna go for a wander out with just one lens. Usually when I do street photography I only take a lens. No tripod, extra batteries in my pocket, but only one lens. I don't go around with lots of different lenses. I like to try to narrow my focus down. It kind of lets me concentrate a little bit more. So I'm gonna bring my, I think I'm gonna bring my 14 to 35 or my 50. I think I'm gonna bring my 50 millimeter out. So maybe I'll bring my 70 to 200. But I'll just bring whatever lens you see in the next couple clips, and I won't have two camera bodies, so all the video and all the photos coming up in the next little bit are all on one lens. My rule with street photography is simple. If you see something that stands out, photograph it. Then linger around the subject and see if an even better story develops around it. I find a photo pretty early. Then I start to struggle. You guys know of my struggles with the new Canon 50mm RF 1.8, and I feel like I'm still struggling with it, especially in low light. But I'm starting to understand the lens a little bit more and its limitations, and I've been able to work around it. On Hanamikoji Street, I find a couple images I like. Then, I wander through Yasaka Jinja in search of more. In the morning, the goal is to go out well before dawn to photograph the famous Hokanji Temple. But a sudden shower has attempted to disrupt my plans. Okay, so not so much luck right now. So got down almost halfway to the temple and it just started pouring rain with some wind. And on the forecast there was like a drizzly bit of rain. This isn't a drizzle. This is really heavy. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to continue to happen. Okay, rain has stopped, and this is actually best case scenario because now the roads are glistening with all the street lights. Not best case scenario, the temple's not lit, but still gonna make it work. Gonna go up to the classic photo spot and set up and make a photo. Yeah, it turns out the rain was a blessing for a number of reasons. First of all, it seems to have scared away all the other photographers. It's rare to have this place alone. Secondly, the road is absolutely shimmering. It looks beautiful with the warm street lights. The clouds, though, are lacking a little bit of structure, so I mess around with some longer exposure and even a black and white image. Okay, so I'm at Toji Temple now over here. It's been raining all day, but it's supposed to start clearing, so yeah, hoping to just kind of get out of the apartment and have a look around. Feeling like I'm struggling a lot with that 50mm lens, so I've put on a much wider lens now. I'm at 14 to 35. Let's see how this goes. On this trip, I'm just a little early for cherry blossoms. They're starting, but this park in full bloom is so impressive. Without the blossoms, I try to focus on the people within the park. There are definitely a couple decent images here. And once the sun goes down, there's a burst of blue light that lends to beautiful imagery. Then out of nowhere, a snowstorm. A rule I have with travel photography is to always have a camera in hand. You never know when the photos will happen, like on the way to dinner. Or even in the taxi on the way home. Okay, I'm in my hotel. I'm struggling a little bit to get photos that I'm excited about. I'm trying to do more street style photos, but as a travel photographer, they also have to show travel. They have to show the destination. They have to make people want to travel to the place. As I talked about a little bit on one of my Azores videos a little bit, so it can't be like a typical street style photo that I take. It has to include the destination and make people want to travel there, if that makes sense. So I'm struggling a little bit, and full disclosure, I haven't looked at the images yet, so I don't know if they're good or bad. I just feel like I'm not excited about them yet. That being said, I am excited because right now I'm about to jump on a train to Nara. One of my favorite things about Kyoto is it's actually pretty central to some other places. So it's nice to be able to hop on public transport and explore a bit. I love Nara. It's such a magical place. And while I don't feed the deer out of principle, it's hard not to admit how cute it is as they walk among us, bowing and casually nudging us for attention. That said, as special as this place is, I'm also struggling a bit here to find photos. As I walk into the park, I had expectations of blooming cherry blossoms, but they're still not really out. Eventually, I find a small patch and decide to mess around with some high-key photography on one of the blooms. Okay, sorry, no microphone because it's on the other camera for some reason. Made it to Nara, and Nara is always awesome. It's such a cool place. People are attracted to this place because of the deer, but what they should be attracted to it for is actually just the nature of it. There's so many cool little ponds and trees and little patches of forest and park. It's just such a nice escape from the city. I absolutely love it. I was hoping that the cherry blossoms would be out. This is one of my favorite photo spots actually, when the cherry blossoms are out. You get cherry blossoms all the way down this pond, and then this gazebo, I guess you would call it, out on the water. But sadly, yeah, a little bit overcast and no cherry blossoms. So I won't call it a strikeout because I'm having a lot of fun, but definitely not getting the photos I was hoping to. The entrance to Nara is packed with selfie-taking tourists keen on the deer. It feels like the deeper you go into the park, the more real things feel. All of a sudden, the lack of images starts to melt away and I see photos everywhere. There's a couple girls dressed in kimono in front of the shrine. There's also beautiful deer lingering between the stone pillars. Inside the shrine itself, a man carefully grooms the gravel. I find a frame within the frame and capture yet another photo. And eventually, I head back to Kyoto and grab a well-deserved morning off. I'm back on the trains and headed towards one of the oldest standing castles in all of Japan, Himeji. Okay, so I've come up to Himeji because of the castle, which on this 14mm lens you probably can't see. But Himeji Castle's up that way. I kind of just want to talk quick, and I feel like I've been doing more talking than filming or photographying on this video, because I kind of feel like I'm struggling a little bit to capture what I wanted to capture in Japan so far on this trip. The last time I came to Japan, I got really good photos, I think. And I think part of that is I had somebody filming, you know, the everyday life, and I could really just focus on the photo making, and I really love my photos from last time I was here. This time I feel like I haven't been able to properly capture the essence of Japan, or even come close to it, to be honest. I feel like I'm struggling a little bit. Yeah, that's just the long and short of it. That being said, I haven't looked at my photos, so maybe I have got some good photos on there. Who knows? I am excited though because Himeji Castle is awesome. I'm not going inside. I'm literally coming here because I find that sometimes to like uncrack a slump that you're going in photography, you just need like an easy photo. And I know this photo, I know this photo spot. It's a really good photo spot. So I'm gonna go and make this easy photo at sunset to just have that one image in the bank that I know is a banger, and then maybe take some of the pressure off. So I'm gonna be back here in a week or 10 days. And so I'm kind of practicing locations. And I think this might go down in history as my most ridiculous tripod setup ever. There's a fence here because the zoo is right here. And this fence reaches out and it kind of blocks the best angle of the castle. So I've taken my tripod and hand passed it through and down into here. behind the fence. Now I'm going to do the same with my camera. Somehow I've got to get the camera on the top of the tripod, which is going to be another challenge, and the filters. Maybe I'll just go filter free. And then I've got to try to work my camera through the fence. Yeah, this is going to be challenging, but it might be for the best, especially once the cherry blossoms are out and it's more crowded here in 10 days. I think that right now, without any cherry blossoms, it looks a little bit messy, but 10 days when I'm back and these cherry blossoms are out, it's nice to have this little spot here found, because there's also tons and tons of photographers that come to this spot once the cherry blossoms come out. So it's nice to have this solved, this problem solved. Yeah, I like this. I don't think I'll share my photo from tonight because I don't know if it's gonna be that great, but I will share my photo that I take 10 days from now with you right now. Okay, I'm in the future, and I just want to end this video chatting quickly about expectations. As I'm editing the video, I'm realizing that sometimes when I'm talking to the camera, it sounds like I'm really grumpy or sad or annoyed. I'm not. I'm loving Japan, and I'm loving the challenge of it, and I'm loving the struggle of it. I think that sometimes we struggle with expectations. We see photos on social media, we have past experiences, we are always trying to achieve something special. And when we see all these great photos on social media, we think, I better get something as good as that. And I think in Kyoto, I was kind of like feeling like I've seen so many great images of Kyoto lately, and I just couldn't get an image that inspired me or got me excited about photography. And even as I've edited the photos now, there's some good photos there, but there's nothing that really like excites me. But I want you guys to know that I'm not sad. When I'm in the like moment and talking about these things, I think my expression shows that I'm like depressed about the fact that I'm not getting great photos, but I actually love the challenge of it. And I love the fact that I'm forced to try to work. And I love the fact that, you know, I'm forced to try to be creative and think outside the box to try to make cool photos. For me, that's part of the fun. And speaking of expectations, the next video I'm going to kind of touch on this a little bit more because the next 10 days I'm in Japan, it's peak tourism season, like cherry blossom season, full of tourists. It's crazy, it's nutty, and I want to show you what the realities of photographing Japan during peak season is like, because it's a little bit different than what you see on social media. And yeah, that'll be on the next video. So I'm going to leave you there. And with a word from the sponsor, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Squarespace is a great place to build a website. There's a new guided design system with SEO optimizing tools, which will help make it easier for people to find you. As for professional tools, you can use the Squarespace platform to automate bookings and appointments. And there's also client invoicing and payment processing, which makes setting up an online store for your photography-based website really easy. So, if you're looking to build a website to help grow your business or showcase your work, visit squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for 10% off your first purchase.